touch, a primary sense, a rudimentary skill. These are the stories of people help themselves and each other. This is a Hand Up Podcast.
This week's podcast, I've got Brendia Moses here. She's the director that oversees our summer feeding program, our at-risk feeding program. Brenda, can you tell us a little bit about those programs? How they're funded, what started this, and of course, how long you've been doing this?
Summer feeding started in 1989 with KCEOC. It is a feeding program. Both of them are feeding programs that are funded through the United States Agriculture, so USDA, Department of USDA Agriculture, and is federally funded and is administered through the CACFP, which is Child and Adult Food Program, and the Department of Education. So we are under the federal and state guidelines.
Okay. So there's a lot of acronyms there, a lot of big fancy names for places. So with this being the Hand Up Podcast, Brenda, let's talk about how you feel that your program gives the children and the families of our communities a hand up.
This program, Summer Feeding in particular, is a program that offers children nutritious meals during the summer months when school is out, not in session. And it actually helps the families fill in the gaps where the monetary is not there. It helps feed children 18 and under, and we serve breakfast and lunch to children daily. And there's a couple of new options that is coming out this summer with summer feeding that's going to be, I feel, that will help the families greatly in this area.
Okay, so you through statistics and surveys in the past, apparently the government and also KCEOC's found out that during the summer months when school's out, a lot of the children are not getting nutritious meals like they should be getting. They don't have school to go to. Okay, that's great. Do you have any idea, like on a weekly basis or a daily basis even, during the summer months when school's out, on how many mouths are actually getting fed?
On the average, we actually operate in all of Knox, all of Laurel, and all of Harlan County. And in between those three counties, between the three, we probably feed close to 4,000 kids a day.
A day?
A day.
My goodness. So with that 4,000 a day, what's your estimated size of the staff that's needed for that?
We focus on mobile routes, which entails in Knox County, the facility that's ran in Knox County, we have approximately 20 staff. And in the operation in Harlan, we have approximately 12 staff.
Okay. Is that enough staff?
No.
No? No. So you're constantly hiring and bringing on additionals to fill gaps in as needed, depending on certain locations. So like some of those locations might be like what? Give us some insight on what your mobile delivery sites actually are.
Okay, the low-income housing.
Okay.
We target pockets of kids. Low-income housing, mobile home parks, community parks, churches, or even if someone just wants to set up a feeding site where there is a cluster of kids around their home.
Okay.
So we'll actually set up a site in someone's yard.
That's great. About revenue-wise, about how much money, and this could be just off the top of your head, an estimate, on, with this partnership through the USDA on the funding, about how much money do you think is getting put out for nutritional value for these kids?
The USDA has really, since COVID, has really done their due diligence on trying to figure out where the pockets of kids are and the need. So the reimbursement rates have been increased, but also your food costs have been increased.
Absolutely.
And we have the issue of not being able to get a lot of the materials that we need in the food, the products that we need. So we're having to substitute, and when you substitute, your costs are higher.
Okay. And like you're substituting, it's still the same nutritional value. However, certain things are still an inventory issue or restocking. Supply lines are still not completely up to par since the pandemic, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then you mentioned earlier, about the inflation. That's killing everybody. I know everybody goes to the grocery store is seeing the inflation going through the roof right now with groceries still yet to this day. With the added cost of the inflation from the groceries, what are some other inconveniences that you've incurred in the last little bit?
The problem, one of our main problems that we're having is the supply and demand issue that we're having. Say a storage container, the food container that we use was one price last year, and we're trying to get it this year. And we tried to order it, and it's not available. So they're having to substitute something else at a much higher rate. So that actually increases our expenses for home delivery and for mobile use.
Okay. Which in turn could mean less money that's going toward nutritional food for the children.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about the other programs. And of course, I'm given the understanding that you all do purchase fruits and vegetables, and basically anything else that's needed from local farmers markets, stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And any honorable mention people locally that you just think the world of on how they help you at the moment?
Baker Farms, that's a local farm, and Countywide Produce.
Okay.
That's two local good farmers that we purchase from.
Everybody listening, be sure that you help support them as well. I'm sure the program would greatly appreciate it. Also, Brenda, let's go into a couple of the other programs and how. When you mentioned congregate meals earlier, could you give us a little insight on that?
Congregate meals are where children gather and eat on site. And with the rising cost of food and the lack of EBT cards, the demand is very high. So USDA has allowed the summer feeding program to offer non-congregate meals where children are allowed to do a grab and go. We have a parental pickup where parents can come and pick up for children. And we also have a home delivery option where we can actually deliver a week's worth of food to breakfast and lunch to children.
That's
in
great.
Our area.
That's great. So with that home delivery right there, you may have an older sibling that's left at home babysitting during the daytime while mom or dad or both of them are at work, right?
Yes.
I can see that really, really benefiting, really helping. So what about some of the other feeding programs? That just covers the summer feeding. What about when school starts back again?
Okay, we actually run a at-risk after-school program, which is basically the guidelines was CACP. It falls under that. It falls under with the free lunch program that they have offered in the school system. It is based in schools and community places, facilities that offer an enrichment after-school program. That's the difference between summer feeding and this program. It has to have an enrichment program some type of after-school activities along with serving the meals. And it serves 18 and under as well.
So that could be like sporting events or churches involved with youth groups?
Yes, churches, youth groups, Sunday morning breakfast, because they have Sunday school. That's one of the qualifications for this. Sports they can be an additional, but it has to be a learning enrichment program offered.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And pretty much every school in our operating areas are involved in some way with this?
Not with KCEOC. The only school system we have is Barberville Independent Schools.
Okay.
But we do have a lot of community churches. We have that actually offer. We have the Sapling Center that's located in Barberville. We have One Way Youth Center that offers it as well. We have probably, I think, 12 sites that we offer during the school year.
Okay. So you've been doing this for a number of years.
13 years.
13 years. 13 years that she's been involved with it. Tell us a little bit of one of your most proudest moments that you've seen this program given children or any particular family a hand up that's benefited from this program. Tell us one thing that comes to your mind that just stuck right there that has made you feel proud to have that sense of belonging to this agency, helping the community, and by doing this food service.
Probably serving a grandparent that has 4 grandchildren, and they were all teenage children, and she received the government assistance for them, and it was the beginning of the 3rd week of the month, and she had no food. So the mobile route was a couple doors down from where she lived. So she would bring the kids out, and they came and ate 2 meals. They received breakfast and lunch every day. And she was so grateful because she said she didn't have anything for them to eat. And so with our connections we have with KCEOC and other partners in the community, we assisted her in getting additional food for those kids. So that way she did have something else to offer them.
That's great. That's great. So are you, as your numbers go and the program studies analytics this now, are you finding out that there's more and more aging grandparents that have sole custody and guardianship and responsible for many grandchildren nowadays?
Yes.
Yes. And a lot of that stuff, like we've talked about in the past, through not just poverty issues, but parents that have several children that have issues, personal issues such as addiction, and there's other causes. There's other causes, but that is a growing thing that's come up as grandparents raising their kids, and a lot of the grandparents, of course, most of them in our areas they're on a fixed income anyway, right?
Yes.
So, okay.
A lot of our grandparents that we have, parents are incarcerated, and grandparents are older, and they have small children. So the non-congregate is a blessing because it allows them to get the kids fed, the children to be fed with the grandparent not able to bring all the kids to the site. This is one of the ways to guarantee that these kids are fed.
Great. Wonderful program. So, anybody has any comments or questions, they can contact Miss Brenda here, Brendia Moses at KCEOC.com. Now, let's highlight another event that you're involved in. We got a fundraiser coming up. I believe it's on June the 17th.
June 17th at Thompson Park. This is our 25th Kentucky Derby.
25th
year.
Kentucky Derby.
Events start at 11 o'clock. We will feed lunch to everyone starting at 11:30 to 1. We'll feed snacks to kids 18 and under, probably around 2. We'll have games and events starting at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And where we'll have games and prizes. We'll have music. Just come out. It's a fun, full day. We'll dump the ducks for the duck race off the river bridge into the Cumberland River at 3 o'clock.
Okay. And we still need people to come out and adopt some ducks. Also, if you want to volunteer to help, I'm sure we could use some additional volunteers. What about some of the other stuff that's going to be going on at that day at Thompson Park? What all is committed to showing up? We're going to have anything special?
Barberville Tourism has graciously donated the rental of the largest water slide in Kentucky. The Kentucky National Guard, the unit locally in Barberville, will bring an obstacle course. We'll have community vendors that will be set up that will give away information and little gifts. We'll have hula hoop contests. We'll have plinko boards. We just come out. We just have a really good day. We utilize the whole park, so you can come out and just have a good time.
Okay.
And come and eat. We serve lunch to everyone free at starting at 11:30.
Key word: free lunch.
Free lunch.
There you go. I'm in. So don't forget, adopt your ducks. If you need to adopt a duck, you can contact KCEOC main office here. Wonderful prizes. Be sure you check out. Keith's going to post up the prize package on the site. Make sure that you like and follow us on Facebook. And thank you, Brenda. Enjoyed it. You're a tremendous help to the agency, and you got a lot on your plate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is a Hand Up Podcast.